Chosen ones, do you feel it? That stirring in your spirit that refuses to stay quiet. That deep, almost electric pulse inside your soul whispering, something is shifting. You can't explain it to others, they wouldn't understand. But you know deep down that you've entered a sacred hour. The air feels different. The signs around you are louder. You've been seeing confirmations in the smallest details. The clock at 11:11, a stranger's words echoing what you prayed in secret. The sudden sense that heaven has been trying to get your attention. This is not random, it's not coincidence, it's divine orchestration. Heaven is aligning itself with your name because, chosen one, it's your time. For years, you've been walking through a wilderness season, unseen, underestimated, even betrayed by those who once called you family or friend. You've felt the silence of God like a heavy blanket over your prayers, wondering if He still remembers your name. But that silence wasn't abandonment. It was preparation. You were being trained for a level of destiny that only the broken, the faithful, and the surrendered can handle. In this video, you will understand why life had to push you to the edge. Why everything that tried to destroy you was actually designed to define you. You'll see that what you thought was a delay was really divine timing. You'll learn that your pain was prophecy, and your isolation was initiation. Heaven has been quiet, but only because it was constructing something massive behind the veil. You were never forgotten, you were being formed. And now, your name is being called. Look back for a moment. Think of how many times you almost gave up. How many nights you whispered, God, I can't do this anymore. And yet somehow, you woke up again the next morning. That wasn't your strength. That was grace breathing life into you when everything else around you was dying. That was proof that you were chosen. You weren't just surviving, you were being preserved. Chosen ones, destiny doesn't arrive in comfort. It arrives through breaking, through waiting, through being misunderstood. The greater your calling, the heavier your crushing. That's why it seemed like life hit you harder than most. That's why doors that were open to others were slammed shut in your face. It wasn't rejection, it was redirection. Heaven was protecting what hell was trying to corrupt. The truth is, you were never meant to blend in. You were meant to stand out, to carry a frequency that others could feel even before you spoke. That's why your energy made people uncomfortable. That's why your light irritated their darkness. They didn't see the years of warfare behind your smile. The tears, the fasting, the nights spent praying for answers that never came. They just saw your strength, and it intimidated them. But God saw your secret battles and said, that one belongs to me. Listen carefully. When God marks someone for greatness, He doesn't always announce it. He hides it. He conceals you until the right season, until your character can carry the weight of your calling. That's what you've been living through, the hidden years, the unseen training, the refining fire. While others were being celebrated, you were being sanctified. While they were being promoted, you were being pruned. But here's the mystery of heaven. What looks like delay to man is acceleration in disguise. God hides you not to punish you, but to protect the oil He's placed on your life. And when the appointed time comes, He doesn't whisper your name, He announces it. Chosen one, that announcement season has begun. You've been sensing the tension, like something inside you is stretching, expanding, ready to burst. That's the birthing pain of destiny. You're about to step into a new dimension of purpose, but before new life emerges, there's always a push. The push hurts, the pressure feels unbearable, but it's proof that what was inside you is ready to come forth. Don't misinterpret the pain of this moment as punishment. It's the final contraction before breakthrough. Everything around you is shifting because heaven has already decided your promotion. You may not see it yet, but you'll begin to feel it. People who once overlooked you will suddenly notice you. Opportunities that once slipped through your fingers will begin to chase you down. The atmosphere is rearranging itself to match your new assignment, and the enemy knows it too. That's why the warfare has intensified. That's why your sleep has been restless, your emotions unstable, your spirit uneasy. You're sensing the spiritual collision between what was and what's about to be. The old version of you is dying so that the anointed version can emerge. Do not fear this transformation. It's not chaos, it's creation. The same God who spoke light out of darkness is speaking destiny out of your disorder. Chosen one, heaven has not forgotten you. It's been watching, measuring, preparing. The same way Joseph went from the prison to the palace in a single day, your shift can happen in an instant. One call, one encounter, one divine moment can rewrite everything that tried to bury you. But here's what you must understand. The key to your next level is alignment. This is the season to release what no longer resonates with your higher calling. The friendships that drain you, the environments that suppress your growth, the habits that dull your light, they cannot travel with you into your next chapter. You've outgrown them spiritually. And every time you try to shrink to fit back into spaces you've evolved beyond, you suffocate the destiny God is trying to unfold. This is your awakening moment. Heaven is saying, rise. You've spent too long questioning your worth, doubting your calling, apologizing for your power, but no more. The era of hiding is over. The season of silence is done. The waiting room has served its purpose. You've been refined, reshaped, and now released. Chosen one, you are stepping into a time where every delay will make sense. Every heartbreak will find its healing, and every rejection will reveal its redirection. The storm you survived was proof that your foundation could not be shaken. And now that you've endured the shaking, God is about to establish you in a way that no enemy can uproot. There is a glow about you, a spiritual light that others can feel even before they understand it. Don't dim it to make others comfortable. The light within you is meant to expose darkness and guide others to truth. You are not just walking into destiny, you are carrying destiny within you. This is why you've felt like the black sheep, the outcast, the misunderstood one, because you were never meant to be normal. You were meant to be set apart. And now, heaven whispers again, chosen one, it's your time. Step into your next level destiny. Chosen one, now that you know heaven is calling your name, it's time to look closer at the path that brought you here. Because the truth is, your story hasn't been easy. In fact, it's been filled with silent tears, lonely nights, and endless questions that have haunted you like echoes in the dark. You've asked yourself, why me? Why does life seem so much harder for me than for others? You've seen people who lie, cheat, and manipulate still walk in abundance, while you, who strive to love, to forgive, to serve, seem to walk through constant storms. You've wondered, if I'm chosen, why does it hurt so much? This is where many lose heart. But you didn't. You endured. And there's a reason. Because being chosen doesn't mean being comfortable. It means being called higher. And to be called higher means you must first be stripped of everything that keeps you bound to the ordinary. The truth they don't tell you is that divine calling always comes with divine breaking. The oil that flows from your life is born out of pressure. The anointing you carry is the fragrance of crushed seasons, the aroma of surrender. Every time they abandoned you, God was positioning you. Every time they misunderstood you, heaven was marking you. And every time you cried in secret, angels were recording your tears as evidence of endurance. You see, there's a hidden truth that many don't realize. Chosen souls are often forged in isolation. Before the public elevation comes the private separation. God doesn't reveal his greatest vessels in crowds. He hides them in caves. Think of David tending sheep while his brothers stood tall before the prophet Samuel. Everyone saw their strength. No one saw his heart, but heaven did. David's wilderness was not punishment, it was preparation. The lion and the bear he faced alone became training for the Goliath that would one day fall before him. You've been in that same training ground, the invisible classroom of destiny. Every betrayal, every loss, every delay has been a teacher. You were learning to fight battles that others would run from. You were learning to stand firm when everything else collapsed. You were learning how to hear the whisper of God even when the world was screaming lies. But I know it hasn't been easy. There were moments you doubted everything, your purpose, your worth, even your faith. You prayed and nothing changed. You helped others and they turned against you. You gave your best and they gave you their worst. You felt like the universe was silent while your heart was breaking. And yet somehow you're still here, still breathing, still searching. That alone is proof that heaven hasn't given up on you, and neither should you. Chosen ones often carry what I call sacred loneliness. It's not the kind of loneliness that comes from being alone in a room. It's the loneliness of walking a spiritual path others can't comprehend. You feel deeply, you see through people's words, you sense energy shifts in a room. You know things without being told, and that awareness can feel like both a blessing and a burden. Because while everyone else is chasing comfort, you crave truth. While they settle for illusion, you hunger for purpose. That's why the world often misunderstands you, because you are living from a level they haven't yet reached. And when you live at that higher vibration, darkness takes notice. The enemy recognizes divine potential before the world does. That's why warfare surrounded you since childhood. It's why you faced rejection, insecurity, or trauma long before you even knew your calling. The enemy saw your light before you did, and he tried to dim it early. But what he didn't realize was that every attempt to destroy you only deepened your connection with the divine. Every heartbreak drove you closer to God. Every betrayal forced you to rely not on people but on faith. You became unbreakable because you learned how to bend. There's a verse that says, "Many are the afflictions of the righteous, but the Lord delivers him out of them all." That's your story. Every affliction you endured became a prophecy of your future strength. Every dark night was a seed that would one day bloom into wisdom. Still, let's be honest, there were times when you felt forgotten. You watched others celebrate while you were in survival mode. You saw doors open for them while yours stayed locked. You thought maybe you'd missed your moment, that your prayers had expired. But heaven's silence was never denial. It was incubation. When God is quiet, it's because he's building something behind the scenes. You see, when a seed is planted, it disappears into the darkness of the soil, unseen, uncelebrated, yet growing. That's what happened to you. The world thought you were buried, but you were actually being planted. And now you're breaking through the surface. But before you bloom fully, you must confront the truth. The world wasn't designed to understand those who walk with divine light. You will always be misunderstood by those who still live in shadows. Don't take it personally when people pull away. Don't internalize their confusion as your flaw. Their inability to see your worth doesn't reduce it. This spiritual struggle, the rejection, the doubt, the misunderstanding, it's all part of the calling. God isolates before he elevates. He purifies before he promotes. He empties before he fills. So when people walked away, it wasn't because you were unworthy. It was because they weren't equipped to walk with you into your next level. They were part of your previous chapter, not your next one. And yes, it hurt. Losing them felt like losing pieces of yourself. You tried to hold on, to explain, to fix. But heaven whispered, "Let go, I'm doing something new." The breaking was never to destroy you. It was to remove what couldn't stay. Chosen one, your struggle was sacred. Your pain was prophetic. Every wound was writing a word across your destiny. Transformation. Now you're awakening to the truth that the storm didn't come to drown you. It came to cleanse you. It washed away the false identities you wore to please others. It stripped you of masks, illusions, and attachments. It left you raw, vulnerable, and real. Because authenticity is the only foundation heaven can build upon. You see, while the world chases success, God chases surrender, and you've surrendered over and over again. When you had nothing left, you still whispered, "God, I trust you." And that whisper carried more power than 1,000 loud prayers. Now heaven looks upon you and says, "This one is ready, ready to receive, ready to rise, ready to step into the destiny that pain prepared." Because destiny isn't about escaping hardship, it's about emerging from it transformed. Chosen one, your story is sacred scripture written in human form. Every scar carries revelation, every tear holds wisdom, every valley you've walked through has carved a new depth in your spirit, a depth that can hold divine glory. You may have been broken, but you were never defeated. You were never abandoned. The divine never left your side. It simply waited for you to see that your greatest power was being born in the very place you thought you'd been forgotten. And now that power is stirring again. The world is about to see what heaven has been shaping in secret. Chosen one, now that you understand why the struggle had to happen, it's time to lift the veil on the mystery you've been living through. Because every storm, every silence, every strange twist of fate was not random. It was heaven communicating through signs, orchestrating lessons, aligning you with your next level of destiny. You've been walking through a spiritual curriculum that others can't see. The pain you've endured was the language of transformation. And if you've paid attention, you've already been receiving messages that your time has come. One of the first signs that your season is shifting is the inner knowing, that inexplicable awareness that something massive is about to unfold. You can't explain it logically, but your spirit keeps whispering, "Get ready." It's that sudden pull toward newness, the quiet push to release the old. You start feeling detached from things that used to excite you. People you once chased, you no longer feel drawn to. Conversations that once entertained you now drain you. That's not boredom, that's elevation. Your spirit is outgrowing what your flesh used to desire. You'll notice your dreams becoming more vivid. You'll see repetitive symbols, doors, flights, light breaking through clouds. These are heaven's ways of showing you that a transition is near. Every chosen soul experiences this before elevation. The stirring, the unrest, the spiritual movement that says, you can't stay where you've been. When this happens, the old world around you begins to resist. Don't be surprised if people suddenly turn cold, if relationships fade without explanation, if opportunities seem to vanish just as you were about to reach them. These aren't punishments, they're clearings. Heaven is making room for what's coming. The things that once surrounded you were connected to your old frequency, but you're no longer vibrating there. Every rejection is an act of protection. The second sign is divine redirection, disguised as disappointment. You prayed for something, and it didn't work out. You thought that relationship would last forever, and it ended abruptly. You believed that job, that dream, that door was your destiny. And then it closed. You felt betrayed by life itself. But what you didn't realize was that heaven was rerouting you. Every no from man is a not yet from God. When the divine delays you, it's not because you're unworthy. It's because your assignment requires perfect timing. What you thought was loss was actually preservation. God saw what you couldn't. Conversations behind closed doors, traps set in secret. He pulled you out before it could destroy you. That's not rejection, that's rescue. The third sign that you're stepping into your next level is the shift in your inner voice. You begin to feel a new level of authority rise within you. The same words you once spoke timidly now carry weight. You no longer seek validation from people because your identity has been validated by purpose. You stop begging to be understood because you've accepted that divine truth doesn't need to be explained. It needs to be lived. There's power in your speech now. When you say something, you feel it echo in the spiritual realm. You notice that your presence disrupts atmospheres, not because you're trying to, but because your light commands recognition. You carry an unseen crown, and creation knows it. This is the stage where you begin to operate in what I call the anointing of discernment. You no longer chase clarity, you sense it. You walk into a room and feel the motives of hearts. You look into eyes and recognize truth or deceit instantly. This is heaven's upgrade to your spiritual senses, because where you're going, you can't afford to be blind. But there's more. The fourth sign that confirms it's your time is supernatural alignment. You start meeting the right people at the right time. Resources appear just when you need them. Doors open without your effort. You'll hear someone say exactly what you've been praying about. Songs, scriptures, even random moments begin to align in divine patterns. That's not luck, that's confirmation. Heaven is strategic. When it's time for you to ascend, everything begins to synchronize. You may find yourself moving to a new location, starting a new project, or being drawn to solitude, not as escape, but as preparation. The divine network that once seemed scattered suddenly clicks into place, like puzzle pieces forming the image that was hidden all along. And in those moments, you realize something sacred. The battle wasn't for your possessions, your career, or your status. It was for your faith. Because faith is the key that opens every divine door. When you reach this understanding, you start walking differently. You stop striving and start aligning. You stop forcing and start flowing. You stop trying to control outcomes and start trusting divine order. That's when miracles begin to multiply, because heaven cannot resist a surrendered heart. The final sign, chosen one, is perhaps the most profound. You begin to feel peace even in uncertainty. You stop fighting the process. The storms that once terrified you now feel like waves carrying you toward your promise. You understand that divine timing can't be rushed, and that what's meant for you will always find you. This peace is not passive, it's prophetic. It means you've matured. You're no longer moved by the noise of the world, because your spirit is tuned to the frequency of heaven. You've entered the stage where faith becomes your atmosphere. But hear this carefully. Elevation demands transformation. You cannot bring the same mindset into a new dimension. To step into your next level destiny, you must let go of what chained you to the old. Fear, doubt, comparison, bitterness, unforgiveness. Those are weights that keep wings from rising. You can't soar if you're still clutching what broke you. This is the hour to release, fully, intentionally, and courageously, because what's coming next will require all of you, your strength, your obedience, your wisdom, and your willingness to trust even when you don't understand. Chosen one, heaven is calling you to move, not by sight, but by faith. You've graduated from the wilderness and now you're standing at the edge of your promised land. This is the moment to step forward, to claim the identity that's been written in your spirit since before you were born. The universe has already heard the decree. The heavens have already announced it. It's your time. You are stepping into a season where the divine hand will move swiftly. People who once doubted you will have no choice but to witness your rise. What once took years will happen in moments. You will be in rooms you didn't apply for, conversations you didn't expect, and blessings you didn't chase. That's the reward of the chosen ones. They attract what others have to pursue. Because when you walk in divine alignment, you no longer chase blessings, you become one. This is your revelation, your awakening, your invitation. You've been prepared, purified, and positioned for this moment. Now heaven waits for your response. Will you step into your next level destiny? Will you finally stop dimming your light and start walking as the masterpiece you were created to be? Chosen one, the signs are clear, the lessons are complete, and the revelation has been delivered. Your spirit knows it, your soul feels it. Destiny is knocking. And this time, it's not a test. It's the opening of a new chapter. Chosen one, lift your head. You've walked through the valley of shadows, and yet the light within you never went out. You've been refined in the furnace of affliction, and now you stand radiant, unbreakable, anointed. This is not just another moment, this is the moment. The heavens are parting, and the Spirit is declaring, it's your time. Can you feel it? The energy around you is shifting. The very air is charged with destiny. The same winds that once carried your tears are now carrying your triumph. The atmosphere recognizes your name because heaven has spoken it aloud. You are no longer in waiting, you are in becoming. You see, everything you lost was never meant to define you, it was meant to refine you. The rejection you suffered was the redirection that led you here. The heartbreak that shattered you was the portal through which light entered. Every betrayal was a prophecy in disguise, announcing that divine promotion was near. Chosen one, you have not been walking through random chaos. You have been walking through divine choreography. The steps were ordered even when they hurt. Every twist of fate, every closed door, every delay was positioning you for a moment such as this. You are stepping into your Esther season, the moment where everything that once disqualified you becomes the very reason God uses you. You are stepping into your Joseph moment, from the pit to the palace, from forgotten to favored, from overlooked to overflowing. You are stepping into your David season, where the stones of your struggle become the weapons of your victory. Do you understand what this means? You are no longer fighting for your destiny. Your destiny is fighting for you. Heaven has released an acceleration over your name. The angels assigned to your purpose are already in motion. The doors that were locked are now commanded to open. The enemies that once mocked you are now watching in silence as God prepares a table before you in their presence. This is divine vindication. Every time you were ridiculed for your faith, every time you were underestimated, every time you had to walk away in silence, heaven took note. God stored every tear as evidence, every wound as testimony. And now the very pain that almost ended you will be the platform that elevates you. Chosen one, hear me clearly. Your waiting was not wasted. While you thought nothing was happening, heaven was building the foundation of your next level. While you were being isolated, you were being upgraded. You were being given spiritual authority that can't be learned, only earned through endurance. And now the oil that was crushed from your seasons of pain will begin to flow. It will draw blessings to you effortlessly. It will magnetize miracles. Because the same power that resurrected you from despair is the same power that will elevate you before nations. This is not the time to doubt. This is the time to decree. The same mouth that once spoke prayers through tears must now speak promises through power. Declare it out loud. It's my time. Speak it until your spirit believes it. Speak it until the atmosphere aligns with it. Speak it until every lie of limitation breaks beneath the sound of your faith. You've spent years surviving. Now you will thrive. You've been tested in obscurity. Now you will be trusted with visibility. You've walked through shadows. Now you will walk in light. Because when God decides to elevate a chosen one, no force in hell can stop it. Do you remember when you almost gave up? When you thought the silence meant the end? That moment was the death of the old you. Now you are being resurrected, not the version that was wounded, but the version that carries glory. The light you carry is not ordinary. It is the echo of heaven itself. It's why you've always been different, why you could never fit in, because you were never meant to. You were created to set apart, not fit in. You are the voice in the wilderness that carries clarity. You are the intercessor who shifts atmospheres when you pray. You are the living proof that the divine still intervenes in human history. And now the mantle is falling upon you, a higher assignment, a heavier anointing. You will speak and chains will break. You will walk and doors will open. You will touch and healing will flow, not because of who you are, but because of who walks with you. The time for questioning is over. The time for clarity is here. You were not abandoned. You were appointed. You were not forgotten. You were forged. Do you know what the enemy fears most? It's not your weakness, it's your awakening. Because once a chosen one realizes who they are, the war is over. You cannot be manipulated by fear when you know your identity in the divine. You cannot be trapped by darkness when you remember you were made of light. The breaking was necessary so you could emerge unbreakable. The losses were necessary so you could learn detachment. The silence was necessary so you could hear the still, small voice that the noise once drowned out. Chosen one, this is not a pep talk. This is a prophetic decree. You are rising into a frequency that cannot be ignored. Your spirit is expanding. Your light is multiplying. The hand of God is upon your life in a way that will shock even those who doubted you most. And when they ask, "How did you do it?" you'll smile and say, "I didn't, grace did." For it is written, "Those who wait upon the Lord shall renew their strength. They shall mount up with wings as eagles." And that's exactly what you're doing now, mounting up. You are no longer crawling through pain, you are soaring above it. Every time you open your mouth to speak truth, you shift the frequency of the room. Every time you show compassion where others would show anger, you release divine love into the world. Every time you choose forgiveness over bitterness, you dismantle the plans of darkness. That's how powerful you are, not because of might, but because of spirit. And now I need you to declare this: I am not who I was, I am who heaven says I am. Say it again with authority. Say it until you feel it in your bones. You are not the wounded version of yourself. You are the reborn, refined, resurrected one, walking proof that God still performs miracles in human form. Chosen one, this is your moment of divine recognition. The crown you've carried invisibly in spirit will now manifest visibly in the physical. Favor will follow you. Doors will open. Resources will find you. Not because you're lucky, but because you're aligned. Heaven has waited long enough. Earth is ready to see what heaven has been preparing. The spotlight of destiny is shining on you now, not for your glory, but for God's glory through you. Walk boldly, speak fearlessly, love endlessly, move prophetically, because this is it, the fulfillment of every whispered prayer, every sleepless night, every unseen sacrifice. The time is no longer coming, it has arrived. Chosen one, it's your time. Step into your next level destiny. Chosen one, breathe, take a deep breath right now. You have walked through the fire of understanding, through the valleys of revelation, and now you stand on holy ground, the threshold of your next level destiny. Everything that once confused you, every pain that once broke you, every betrayal that left you shattered, it all makes sense now, doesn't it? You can feel it in your spirit. You were never abandoned. You were being refined. The silence you mistook for divine neglect was actually divine preparation. Heaven was not ignoring you. Heaven was training you. You see, many people live their lives chasing recognition, titles, and applause. But the chosen ones, your journey has never been about applause. It has been about alignment. God has been shaping you into someone who cannot be bought, who cannot be broken, who cannot be bribed by the temporary pleasures of this world. You were designed to carry a sacred frequency, a vibration so high that darkness cannot dwell in it. That is why the attacks came. That is why the misunderstandings cut so deep. Because the enemy saw your light long before you did. But the tables are turning now. The very pain that once made you question your purpose is about to be the foundation of your power. Listen carefully. This is not the end of your story. This is the divine turning point. You are entering the chapter where everything you lost begins to find its way back to you. Purified, multiplied, and sanctified, you are stepping into a season of restoration so divine that you will no longer mourn what left. Because what's coming is not just a replacement, it's a revelation. God is not giving you back what was taken. He's giving you better. You are stepping into relationships that match your vibration, opportunities that align with your anointing, and peace that surpasses all understanding. You may still have scars, but those scars are no longer symbols of suffering. They are symbols of survival, sacred marks of divine endurance. Each scar is a testimony, a reminder that no weapon formed against you prospered. You have been through hell, and yet you still radiate light. You have been through loss, and yet you still choose love. That is what makes you divine. That is what makes you chosen. So as you listen to these words, let this truth rise within you. Your season of hiding is over. Your time of being underestimated is over. Heaven is calling your name in this hour. Angels are being dispatched in your favor. The path before you is being cleared. Every mountain that tried to block you is moving. Every delay is turning into divine timing. Every rejection was redirection straight into destiny. This is not motivational talk. This is spiritual reality. You are walking into what you prayed for, cried for, and waited for. And here's what's truly miraculous. It's not that everything around you will suddenly become easy or perfect. The real miracle is that you have changed. You have learned to walk by faith, not sight. You have learned to listen to the still, small voice of God, even when thunder surrounded you. You have learned to trust divine timing, to surrender control, to rise, even when no one clapped for you. That spiritual maturity, that quiet strength, that is your crown. And no one can take that from you. So now I bless you. Yes, you who are listening right now. May your path be illuminated with divine light. May your steps be ordered in wisdom. May every shadow in your life turn into a testimony of transformation. May the peace of God flood your mind and heart. You are not walking alone anymore. Heaven walks beside you. The same angels who carried you through the darkness are now preparing the table before your enemies. The same God who saw you weeping in the night is now clothing you with joy in the morning. If these words have found you in a moment of doubt, take them as confirmation. It's your time, not next year, not someday, now. The vibration of your soul has aligned with divine timing. Everything you've endured has prepared you for this frequency of favor. The heavens are open. The energy around you is shifting. Doors that once refused to move are swinging wide open. But you must be ready. You must step into your purpose with courage. No more shrinking, no more waiting for permission. You are the permission. You are the sign. You are the miracle that someone else has been praying to encounter. So I challenge you, beloved chosen one. Rise, walk differently, speak differently, love differently. Live like you know heaven is backing you, because it is. And when you speak life into others who are still in the valley you just walked out of. Lift them with your words, your example, your grace. That is your ministry. To show that divine favor is real, that restoration is real, that God still moves through the lives of those who believe. Before this video ends, I want to remind you of something crucial. Your voice matters here. This space, this channel was built for the chosen ones who often walk alone. But here, you are seen, you are heard, you are understood. So if this message resonated with your soul, leave a comment below. Share what you felt, what you've been through, and how these words spoke to your spirit. You never know who might read your story and find hope in it. And if you haven't already, subscribe and join this growing family of awakened souls. Each message here is a divine seed, a reminder from heaven that you are not forgotten. Hit the like button to send your energy into the algorithm of light. And when you share this message, you are not just helping a channel. You are spreading healing, awakening, and divine truth. And finally, let me leave you with this prophetic whisper. The next time you feel that gentle stirring in your spirit, that pull towards something greater, don't doubt it. Don't second-guess yourself. That's God calling you forward again. Because destiny is not a one-time event. It's a living, breathing journey. And the next revelation is already on its way. So go forth, chosen one. Step boldly into your next level destiny. Walk in your divine authority. And never forget, heaven has already written your victory. Your time is not coming. It is here. If you received this message, comment, "It's my time," below. Heaven sees your faith. And in the next video, I will reveal what happens after you step into your divine assignment. Until then, stay aligned, stay awakened, and remember, you are loved, you are protected, and you are chosen.